Welcome. This is the Bread of Life Hour, and you've tuned in to another program, special show that we have today on the Bread of Life Hour, an hour of power. And as you all know that have been joining our program, we broadcast live from the Way of the Cross Church, 65 Ashton Street in Dorchester. I'm Apostle or Bishop Frank E. Kelly, and again, you're in store for a great program. You can reach us on YouTube. That's AMTV Boston, Bread of Life Hour, and that is 3/22/24 if you want to get this particular program. If you tune in and you don't put in those coordinates, you will get all of our other programs, which we think are pretty good. But we welcome you today because you do not want to miss this show today. You can reach us as well on our conference call, and that is 267-807-9611, and the passcode is 629982#, 629982#. Well, if you want to engage with us today, you can also get on our Zoom, and the Zoom is 404-734-6730. That is 404-734-6730, and the passcode is launch, capital L only, AUNCH, $1. That is 404-734-6730, launch, capital L, AUNCH, $1. Well, we welcome those of you that's tuned in right now, that's watching the program, and we know that some will probably come on, we're expecting, but we're going to get right into a conversation with the special guest today. And, you know, I only know him because of what I've experienced with him, and I don't think I even remember his whole name, but we're going to welcome to the show two very special people. Today's program is dealing with your dental health. Isn't that something? Wow. I think there's a few people out there that, you know, maybe experiencing some difficulties with your dental health. Some people out there might be looking for some solutions. Some people might be looking for the right dentist or right orthodontist, and we're going to get into some of those details. But look, join me in welcoming Dr. Stuparich. I think I got that right.
You did, absolutely.
All right, and also his, I would say, associate, Dr. Noel.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to get you mic'd up here, all right? You can say hello.
Hello, and thank you very much for having us.
All right, all right. So, Doctor, I appreciate you coming by, both of you. And folks, I'm very surprised to have both of them because they're so busy. Every time I come into the office, you know, they have a very great staff there and welcoming. And look, I'm going to put in a plug in for you. And they're so busy because they're so good. And so I'm surprised to be able to have both of them on the program today. So, Doctor, you know, we're going to jump right in and, you know, feel free. You know, this is real live TV. And I'm sure you've done it before because when I walk in your office, I see the monitor, and you have a very slick website, folks, and we'll share that with you as well. I think some of you might have received it because we sent out a blast, and hopefully you got that information. But Doctor, tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got into this profession.
Well, absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for having us here. It's a joy and honor to be here. I want to start off, first of all, I think, you know, we're so busy, as you were mentioning, but I think it's important to put God first in your life.
Oh, wow. That's
okay.
great.
I think that's kind of what our purpose is in life, and that's helped us a lot. And we may have been off and on course at times, but we try and stay the path, and that's what helps us with taking care of our patients.
Did I twist your arm to talk about God first?
You did not.
But or because you're in a setting like that.
No, but I think that's how we connected too. We've always had little conversations, right, even during your treatment.
Right. Very personal touch. I like that.
And well, I got into dentistry it's not a very exciting story. I was on a course of going into music. My dad was a musician.
Oh, really? We have something in common because I'm a musician. At least I try to be.
It was the same. Perhaps maybe that's why God told me to go and be a dentist, because it wasn't my path. But in any case, 16, I was actually suggested by a dentist, why don't you look at dentistry? And
Okay.
that's how it started. But my journey has been interesting because I got into it because I thought prosthetics, which is what we do, restoring teeth, the shape of the teeth and the breakdown, is the most artistic part of dentistry.
Wow, wow.
And I have to say, I happen to meet a partner in life that is more artistic than I am. So it was a great team.
You're the dynamic duo, right?
Dynamic duo, yes. And so, you know, the artistic part, that's how my career started. As I continued over the years, I saw the need for comprehensive care, where it's not just handling, for example, a crown or something that's filling. It's more of from the foundation up.
Now you were 16, so that goes back a few years. I mean, you
Just
look
a couple, but
pretty
thank
young.
you, thank you. It was just a couple of years ago. Yes, a couple years. But you know, I moved. I grew up in Toronto, moved to Boston to go to dental school. I went to Tufts Dental.
So are you Canadian?
I am Canadian.
Oh, okay, all right.
I mean, I have a dual citizenship.
All right,
I'm
all right.
American
Wow.
as well.
Well, I'm very impressed with our neighbor, the Canadians. I mean, sometimes I can't distinguish between who's American and who's not.
Sure, sure.
Which is good, I think.
Absolutely. And yeah, so that's kind of, you know, going into the journey of restoring people where
Yes,
it's to the
yes.
point where, you know, we do a lot of restorations where people have lost their teeth, and we use dental implants to help restore what they had.
Well,
And-
doctor, you know, we're going to get into some more details, and I'm going to make this personal because you are my doctor. You happen to be my doctor, you two, both of you. And, you know, when you think about dentistry or you think about the dentist, it conjures up some fear for a lot of people. Maybe not so much today because of the technology, but I'll tell you, people will probably go to their, you know, medical doctor first before they go to a dentist
Oh,
in many
absolutely.
instances. I don't know if you experienced that.
No, I think that's a big part of our practice. I think the fear factor, and that's actually a great, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's a big way of how we plan our treatments for our patients.
Okay.
You know, if you drag treatment out over and over, that just keeps that fear getting worse and worse. So
Right,
our
right.
kind of our treatments are designed to be very efficient so we can do them as fast as possible and in a situation where you're comfortable during that by medication.
Well, I was
to
in there
relax.
for a few hours.
You
I
were.
mean, and that
A
was a
day, I
major
would say,
surgery.
almost.
That was a major surgery. Boy, the fear that I had in coming to you, you know, and I guess my situation was very, very serious. I guess probably one of the worst that you've seen. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that, folks. But we're chatting with Dr. Stubert. Well, what is your first name?
Moro.
Mauro.
Or Mauro. It's
Mauro,
an Italian
okay.
name.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, you're Canadian and Italian at the same time. Like America.
A mixture.
Yeah,
of,
mixture. Yeah, right. Right. So you have your dynamic team person over here, Dr. Noel. You spoke of her. And so, Dr. Noel, you know, you guys work as a team, and you, in the surgery room or whatever it is, at the same time observing and giving advice and that sort of thing, which, you know, I was very impressed, again, with the personal touch and the, you know, conscientiousness and attention that you guys made. But getting back to you, Doctor, and Dr. Noel, please feel free to jump in, okay?
Sure.
This is real live TV, folks, and so, you know, I'm sure folks might have some questions, and hopefully we'll be able to touch on some of the things that people might be experiencing. So, Doctor, you were talking about the fear, but, you know, as I said, people will go pretty much to their medical doctor. They'll get yearly, sometimes twice a year, physicals, but when it comes down to their mouth, that's tied to health, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's part of the whole system. You know, if you if you don't have the teeth that can chew and eat properly, your digestive system gets affected.
Listen, folks, hear that. Hear that. So we need to be able to chew, not just swallow everything that's liquid,
Exactly.
right?
And
So the chewing helps the digestive system, I guess.
absolutely. You
Okay.
can't just swallow your food and expect your stomach to break things down. Also, there's studies that are clear, people who are missing 6 to 10 teeth, your life expectancy decreases automatically by 10 to 15 years.
Wow.
So that's
Listen to that, folks.
that's a big factor that is important. You know, I mean, we have so many things and responsibilities to do, whether it's families or whatnot.
Right,
that you know, being around and healthy is going to allow you to continue.
Now I heard, yeah, Dr. Noel.
Talking about the food when you are eating, if you don't have the teeth to chew your food, then you end up eating things that are not maybe the right things because you end up
You don't
having
eat the right things.
Exactly. So
Ah.
you don't eat the amount of protein or the amount of nutrients that you should be having. So your body all gets affected by it. So it's important to have the
Wow.
teeth to chew.
Wow. So you know, I've heard, again, I don't like to follow rumors, but I heard it also can affect your heart.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it affects your heart. You know, remember, our bodies are one, and there are different components, but they are all related.
Right,
Brain, heart.
That works
kidney,
like a team too,
liver,
right?
a team.
Right.
And if you're out of sync in one area, it will affect other areas. So, you know, it's like I said, kidney, liver, heart,
all the major
lungs,
arteries, yeah.
brain.
Wow.
The
Wow.
bacteria in your mouth travels through the circulation in your body and goes everywhere else. So it doesn't affect only the mouth, but if you don't clean it and take care of it, it's going to affect your heart and other places in your body.
The desire to eat, even if your mouth is not functioning right, or your teeth are not working, or they're decayed or whatever, then you don't have the desire to eat either, right?
Because you're in
Well,
pain.
you know, I think people don't have the desire, but I think what happens is that we're so adaptable. We learn to live with this.
Yeah.
And we think it's normal.
And that's not good.
And that is not good. So
Yeah.
I think that's what you have to remember, that even though we feel it's okay, it's not, because it's like driving your car without any oil in it. You'll do it for a certain period
Right.
of time, and then
Right.
you have an emergency, and
Right.
it's a big emergency.
Right. Folks, we're in conversation here with Dr. Stuperich and Noel. Again, I highly recommend them. They have a dental practice, but you know, there's a difference, I guess, between orthodontist and dentistry, isn't it? I mean,
Well-
a little bit, or it's similar?
Well, actually, orthodontics is dealing with braces. What we focus on, I mean, we are both trained prosthodontists, which is restoring
That's
the
another
teeth.
word.
Prosthodontists.
Yeah.
But we also do a lot of surgery that leads up to what prosthetics
okay.
does.
All
So
right, all right.
we're trained implant surgeons, and that allows us to basically take care of everything that needs
We're
to
going to
be
get
done.
into that because, again, I was in the chair.
Yes, you were.
I was going through that. And, you know, again, the other thing that people think about, we're going to come back and get in a little bit more detail into this, folks. Again, this is the Bread of Life Hour. Dr. Frankie Kelly, and we're having a very good discussion that, again, many of you might be thinking about, considering, or experiencing right now, or looking for some way, a solution that would help your health. This is what this is all about. This is a health show today, and we're delighted to have, again, my doctors in here in the studio today to talk about this. Again, you can reach us at YouTube. That's AMTV Boston Bread of Life Hour, and that is AMTV Boston Bread of Life Hour 3/22/24. You can get this particular program, or you can reach us on YouTube, on Zoom. This is real live TV, folks, so we will make mistakes, all right? But we'll get it straight. So if you want to get on our conference call, it is 404-734-6730, 404-734-6730, and the passcode is launch, capital LAUNCH, $1, LAUNCH, $1, capital L on the launch. And the conference call is 267-807-9611, passcode 629982 pound. So, you know, how did you and Dr. Noel come together?
Well, I'll tell you the story. Well, I'm Venezuelan, and I came to the United States to do my specialty.
Oh,
When I came to the United States, I was a dentist already. I graduated at dental school in Venezuela, and I came to do my specialty at Tufts.
Okay.
And when I was
So you were doing this in Venezuela already?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Now, you look too young to be in this profession so long. I mean,
only 30
some odd years?
33 years.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, but
So you had a practice in Venezuela?
well, I was with my mom. My mom is a dentist. I'm fourth generation
Oh,
dentist.
so you're fourth generation.
Yes.
Quite a bit of experience there, doctor. Yeah.
So I came to specialize at Tufts,
Oh.
and that's where we met.
Oh, you met at Tufts.
That we met at Tufts. So
We've done some work with Tufts in our missions.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Right.
Okay, so that's how we met in the laboratory, at the prosthetic laboratory.
Uh-huh.
We were introduced by the director of the program, and he said that he will show me around. He didn't know
So
what
who
he
was
was
the
saying.
business person that said, look, we need to join forces? who was the one that approached that or initiated
I
that?
think a few years later, he was working independently in a practice, and I was working in another one in North Andover, and then we decided, why don't we just start working together, and that's
Okay.
it. And
Great. And so there was a match in heaven, huh?
It was, and you know, as a matter of fact, we've been working together for how many years?
1998.
24 years. Well, yeah.
So you're seasoned.
We're
so
seasoned.
That's a
Folks,
little
you hear this,
bit.
folks? These are not novices, okay? These are seasoned, and that's something we're going to talk about too. Because before I came to you, okay, I was already, you know, had a few years with my own dentist, and we had talked about some mouth restoration and how I needed it because my mouth was so bad and my teeth were decaying, and you know, of course, I was very concerned about that, and I talked with my doctor, my dentist at the time, and asked them, you know, what they could do about it. Of course, the prices were astronomical, and that's another thing we can talk about as well.
Sure. Sure.
They said, well, my doctor said, well, you know, this is what it's going to cost, but we don't have the experience to do it in-house. And he said, we'll have to send you to one of our partners. I didn't like that so much because, you know, now there's another stage. And cost came to mind. So maybe...
And fear.
Yes.
Right? You're now going to another person that will instill fear in you.
That's right. Exactly. And you know, also, I'm old enough to remember when going to the dentist was very painful. and also, you know, then back when I first started going, and I had to have some teeth extractions, you know, you were facing some really very serious pain, and some people would elect to, you know, be put to sleep, an anesthesia. So I guess the technology has improved now, and I'll share a little bit more about my experience, but the technology has improved, and it's not so bad as it was before. You guys do some very serious stuff, and you're able to deal with the pain and that sort of thing. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think, you know, first of all, I want to share that what we do in our practice is not general dentistry where we do fillings. I mean, we do that, but that's a very small part of our practice. Our practice is...
And this is all in-house?
This is all in-house. And our practice is we help people that have lost a lot of teeth, have had a lot of infections going on, have a lot of fear, and we do a treatment that allows us to get rid of all the disease. Okay, we need that disease to be gone.
That's important. Yeah.
We not only get rid of the disease, but we provide you with teeth that same day or very soon or the day
I
after.
can attest to that, folks.
So that's there's a fear of, hey, I'm going to lose a tooth, it's a front tooth or whatnot, and I'm going to walk out without anything there. No, we never let our patients walk out with any teeth. They will leave there.
That was one of my fears, since I have to be in public speaking more, frequently.
Absolutely, and we will place implants. We'll put the restoration on so they don't come out if they're on implants, and then you're all set. And so that's, I think, doing it efficiently, having our patients sedated so that they're not afraid of being there. We can do the best work and as efficiently and well done as possible in the shortest amount of time. And so that breaks up that many visits of going either to the same dentist for many visits or to different offices to have different treatments done.
Well, because I discovered you guys, and I didn't want to tell my dentist that I discovered somebody that could do it in-house, and that, I was looking for someone that was very professional, someone that was very personal, and someone that could deal with my fears. And so I came to you guys, and the interview went well. I mean, I was really, I was comforted by your, professional staff. Folks, you didn't pay me to say this.
I did not.
But you, look, I'll say this, the aftermath was when I, began to, speak in the public, and people were saying, wow, you look different. They were saying, what is it about you? Did you cut your hair? Or did you, what did you do? And then I said, well, I had a mouth restoration. They said, wow, looks natural, looks real good. And so, folks, and getting back to the details in terms of the process, I'm going to let the doctor talk a little bit more about that, but let me just say this, that the price, doctor, is prohibitive for a lot of people.
Yes.
And there's a lot of different organizations out there, a lot of folks practicing, doing this, and it's a competition. So,
absolutely.
I'd like for you to speak a little bit about that, the pricing. I'd like for you to talk a little bit about, because some people, my age and maybe younger or have health issues, some of these organizations and entities will say, well, we will take care of the cost. It can be, paid for or covered through your Mass Health or your Medicare or whatever. Can you talk about that? I mean, there's different ways, I guess, people can get this done in an economical way, I should say.
Well, I mean, do you want to share a little? So I think one way that we try just from the start to get our price down, because this is expensive treatment. This is not inexpensive.
Right,
and
right.
we understand. I think our journey is to help as many people as we can.
Right.
So cost is really the number one reason why people don't do this. So what we are, because we have everything in-house, and we don't have any middle people involved, extra costs. That's a very simple way that we are able to bring we are able to bring our costs down, and I can say that personally because we've experienced that. Prior, our costs were a lot higher than they are now. We do a lot of care of dental implants for patients. So the way we help our patients save money is because we buy so many implants, because we have an in-house lab, we save money in our expenses.
Right. So your overhead is lower.
Our overhead, it gets lowered, and so we can pass on some of those savings to our patients where in the past it wasn't foreseeable.
Right.
And our practice is in an area where maybe some people have the money to do it, but we want to take care of a wider community, because usually economics happens to affect how people's teeth are.
Well, I was pleasantly surprised to find out that I could afford it. our pastors make a lot of money, right?
Oh, they're just
No, folks. So when I heard the price and then the arrangement, I should say, to take care of that, I was pleasantly pleased. I was pleased. I was surprised that you were able to do that for me. And folks, I was able to afford it, really. So continue, doctor. Continue.
I mean, affordability, because we do these treatments, we've joined up with partners that deal specifically with this kind of treatment. So, you know, if you go to a car dealership, they have lenders that
Right.
know the car business.
Right, right.
Well,
right.
we work with lenders that understand what's involved in this. So it's a lot easier than going to your bank or to other
So they
facilities.
favor this particular procedure.
Right.
Right.
It's their specialty, so to speak.
Right.
Just like our specialty is what we do. We've joined up with people that can help with the financial part of it.
Right, right.
And
right.
that allows it to be at a smaller monthly payment if people have
Right.
to break it up, which most people do.
Right.
And you're able to get the treatment done, enjoy the benefits of it, make it a life-transforming event that makes you happier, more energetic, healthier.
Right.
And you know, if you put it into that perspective, the cost then becomes not a cost, but a life-changing event.
Right. Right.
You know, I mean, the joy that I see of your smile, of how you affect your congregation,
And able to speak.
and able to speak
With no pain.
with no pain.
No pain.
Is there a price to that? And that's how many people you touch by that. I think
Right.
that's a huge part. So that's an important part of how important is this, and it's hard to change that for a lot of people. So.
Well, you do an excellent job in doing that for people. Again, as I said, I had an extreme. Look, they're kind. They're not saying it, but I had an extreme condition, folks. And if they were able to help me, all right, and I think I have a pretty decent smile now.
And one thing to note also, for a lot of the patients who come to see us, their social esteem is very low because they don't feel comfortable. They are not able to
Right.
smile, to talk to
Right.
people, to work, to socialize. And once they get their teeth, it's amazing transformation that they get.
Yes,
You know, and
yes.
also like your transformation, your face, people look so much younger because when you have teeth,
Yeah, I was
everything
told
looks
that
better.
too.
I mean, I want to share, you know, some of the patients we've seen have been homeless, have been addicts that have had a life-changing event.
Listen, folks. Listen to that. Listen to that.
And those are the people that need help.
Right.
I'll share. Can I share a
Sure,
story
go
of
ahead.
just? I had a patient that was a recovering drug addict who had been in prison and all that. He changed his life around, and with the help of his sister, who helped him with the cost of the treatments, he had to have this major treatment done. And his purpose for doing the treatment was not so much of the pain and what was going on. He had taken the role where he wanted to help his community. He works at a sober house. He was trying to help others in the same situation, and he felt he needed to have the appearance
Right.
that
right.
he had the strength, the courage,
The
and
confidence.
the confidence
Right,
to go
the
through with that.
confidence, yeah.
And it's a very touching experience to be able to help somebody like that can then go out into the community and
Folks,
help
you see how
others.
personal Dr. Stuberich is? He's so personal. He's so concerned about the welfare of his patients.
And I think we've changed our feelings. It's, you know, we don't think of treating teeth. It's a much bigger thing than teeth. It's a
Wow.
person.
Wow. Wow.
And that's why what we do is so transformational. And it's the joy, the happiness for us is very different.
Well, look, you always have a smile. And look, you do it instinctively, I think, promoting your profession, you know, and you don't want somebody cutting your hair if their hair is bad, right? You don't want anybody, you know, that's treating
Sure.
you in your health and their health is bad, right? So you got to look the part, and as I said, both of you do look very good, very good.
Well, thank you.
Wow. So, folks, so we're talking with Dr. Stuberich and Noel, and they are excellent orthodontists, and they are my dentists. They are my doctors, and I am recommending them. Now, the name of your your organization again? Is your
Stuparich
practice?
and Noel Dental Associates.
Okay.
So my name is Stuparich and Noel.
All right, all right. So doctor, we're going to talk a little bit more about the process because, again, I'm sure people are saying, wow, you know, this sounds interesting, and I might want to do this. Folks, again, we've touched a little bit about, you know, the procedure in terms of being in the chair and whether or not, you know, this procedure is going to be painful, whether or not you will go through this process, you know, awake or under anesthesia. So, doctor, let me say this, folks. I had an extreme condition, and it required some hours. Can I sit down a minute? This mic is going big. And I had some hours. There were a few hours that they had to work on me, okay? And, you know, I didn't know whether or not I was going to be either put under anesthesia or whether or not I would be awake. Folks, listen, and I know you're thinking about, oh, the needles, and you're thinking about the pain behind the needles, and you're thinking about, you know, I don't want to feel if I have to have, you know, mass extractions and the pain and the pulling and all, you know, all of those things go through your mind. Folks, I'll tell you, first of all, I'll let the doctor talk a little bit about that, and I'll share a little bit more about my experience. Go ahead, doctor.
I think the education of what's going on, a lot of people who haven't seen a dentist in a long time are creating these scenarios of what's going on, as well as what they've heard from other people. And everybody's situation is very different.
Right.
So, you know, I think it's important to focus on your own situation. And when you, what we do is, everybody's afraid. So when we do these procedures, people are sedated so that they're more relaxed.
Yes.
That allows you to be in a more comfortable setting. It allows us to do what we have to do more efficiently. It allows for better healing. So, you know, you're worried about the pain. Well, if your body's more relaxed.
Okay.
You get that? So if you're more relaxed, then you will heal better.
You know, I'm thinking about this, and I had to go through quite a long questionnaire. So it relates, again, that come into consideration in terms of a person's health, in terms of the kind of surgery that they might go through or have to undergo?
Absolutely. And you know, you had brought up about heart issues and all that. What we're implementing in our practice is also a lot of more advanced sedation techniques where when you have a lot of complications systemically, you know, we can make sure that you're in a safe situation because that's very, very important.
So if a person does have extreme health issues, would you make a decision sometimes maybe to say, well, maybe this is not for you, or maybe, you know, you need to do X, Y, Z in order to, you know?
Absolutely. No. We have to work with the medical profession as well, but we have to take a standing where we are doctors. And so, for example, if people have heart problems and kidney problems and liver problems, we are aware of tests, blood work that needs to be done so we can make sure before you come, if you haven't had medical attention, that you are healthy enough to do this. And so that's where you can add to that.
Some folks might need to go to the doctor and have all these tests done before, yes, to the doctor, because we want to make sure that you're safe while you're in the chair. Right. You know, we don't want to put you through a situation that's very risky for your health.
You hear that, folks? You hear that? You hear that? So they'll refer you to another doctor if you're not in the condition to go through this kind of surgery. And it's, again, it's very serious kind of surgery, right?
Sure.
It is.
Sure.
And it's for your life, it's your health. We don't want to risk that.
Right. Well, folks, let me tell you again. This is the Bread of Life Hour, and I'm Dr. Frankie Kelly, and we are broadcasting from 65 Ashton Street in Dorchester. We're talking to my doctors, Dr. Stuparich and Noel. That's their profession. We're going to give you some more details in terms of where they're located and how you can reach them and that so forth. But right now we're talking about the process. Listen, folks, I had an extreme, I keep emphasizing that, I had an extreme condition, which means, again, it has to do with the construction of your mouth. It has to do with whether or not you have bone I've learned this from the doctors,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Whether you have bone left, because of, decays that have taken place over time, whether you have a structure or foundation comes into play. I had some really bad, it was really bad. And listen, this whole procedure was done without me being under anesthesia. Can you imagine that, folks? So I was able to, I guess, watch and see what was going on, so to speak, and it wasn't painful. There was a little pressure, but there was no pain. And if I did experience any of that, what would you do?
Give you some more anesthesia.
Yeah.
Get you comfortable. We have to make sure that the patient is always comfortable and out of pain.
Yeah, and the needles. Now, yeah. So, then talk a little bit about, doctor, the process and how you were able to get me to, which I was kind of very nervous, I will say very nervous about this procedure happening with me wide awake.
Well, you're wide awake, but we do give you, we start off with some oral sedation. It's a tablet.
People don't like needles, though.
Don't like needles. So if we get you into the office and you're more relaxed, that alone, first of all, gets you more comfortable. The way we administer needles, there's a difference. I mean, there's a little delicacy, a little pinch, but there's techniques that, I have to say, Dr. Noel probably has the best hands for anesthesia that I've ever seen. And on my part, I think this whole needle administration, fear and all that, my father-in-law and my father are probably the most dental phobic patients I've ever experienced. And I know there's a lot of them out there. And that alone has helped us. It's a whole complete experience to be better at how we take care of our patients.
And you're constantly talking, you're constantly putting the patient at ease, at least me. How does this feel? Does this hurt? How you doing? I mean, you really do take personal care.
Now, I'm going to just add one other thing. A lot of what we do, we spend a lot of hours in training and improving our skills. So this is not something that the average dentist can do because there's an experience level, there's a training factor. I just got back from an advanced surgical training last week in Kentucky, and I've done multiple. I'm out all the time, so is Dr. Noel, and we're improving our skills because, as you mentioned at the beginning, technology has changed so much. My father, when he used to go to the dentist, there was no water, there was no anesthesia, and there was a lot of running away from the dentist before you got there. So that being said, we didn't have cell phones too long ago. We couldn't broadcasting like we are so easily. So our training is also really important. And although we are veterans, we have the passion to keep on learning because there's so much to be learned so we can continue to help our patients have a better experience, have better results.
I think you might have to say it again. We're having some technical problems here. Yeah, let's see. We're going to try to resolve this in a minute. Hello. All right, this is real live television, folks. Go ahead.
Well, again, I was mentioning that technology is constantly evolving, so we are always on top of it, trying to learn what's happening out there, what's coming new, because it's always for the benefit of the patient. So we're learning always something new to then provide a better service to our patients, so that you have a better experience, right? Yes. So the fact that we can provide the teeth in a day, that's because we have the technology in the office. Right. And if we don't go and train on all these things, we cannot do that, right? So that's part of it.
And I think that's the nice thing, we have the skills and the technology to do this, which is not always commonplace, right? I mean, we talked about specializing in what we do, so we don't see some of that general care because it takes a lot of energy. We don't see as many patients, but these are involved procedures. So not only do we have to have good care of you, but we have to do a lot of planning that's not typical when you go in for a cleaning or for a filling.
Right.
And preparing, because it's a big event, and if you're going to leave with no disease, with implants, with teeth that don't come out, it's a team that works at this. So, you know, you had mentioned everybody in our office. It's not just myself and Dr. Noel. We have a huge team behind us, and everybody has critical roles in making this whole experience, whether it's greeting you and treating you like family, or putting in those teeth for you that are going to give you that confidence and security that you're seeking. So it's that, and I think that's the joy too. We've transformed the dental office from the almighty doctor to all the individuals who are really important in making that overall results for our patients.
Doctor, we're coming down to the end of this broadcast, but you know, I want you to talk about your location, how people can get in contact with you. I know before we even got to the place of the procedure, you had Ellie. I got to mention her name.
Absolutely.
She seems to be your #1 person. She did an excellent job in interviewing me. Matter of fact, I had her talk to my daughter in Georgia, and you know, we just felt very comfortable. We felt confident that, you know, we had made the right choice, and she just made it very easy for us, and I just thank you. So, Doctor, why don't you just share with our guests and those that are watching the program how they can get in contact with you, where you're located. I think you've moved, right?
We did. We used to be on Columbus and Dartmouth. We are now on the corner of Boylston and Dartmouth, which is right kitty corner to the Boston Public Library, Trinity Church, John Hancock. So right in the square. We actually overlook the square. Our website is www.abostonsmile.com. And again, it's www.abostonsmile.com. We have on our website many videos and testimonials from our patients who have experienced this. So I think that's a good resource. If you have still questions, go to those and witness and listen to what they've shared, because one of the things we've really tried to work, we realize as we're doing this broadcast here to reach out to this community, as dentists, if we have these talents that we want to share with our patients, they shouldn't be hidden gems, and we have to work hard to get to our community and let them know what is possible, educate them. And so again, go to abostonsmile.com. You'll see a bunch of testimonials. We have also a lot of before and afters of transformations, and I think that's a great resource. Our office number is 617-437-6800. Again, 617-437-6800. Or you can reach us on our website, abostonsmile.com. And as you mentioned, Ellie, who is our office leader. Yes, we just celebrated her 3rd year anniversary with us. And so you know, we're accessible. Transportation is close by. We're right next to the Green Line. Orange Line is 2 blocks away. There's buses close by. Parking is always challenging in Boston, but there is metered parking. There are 3 or 4 parking lots that we can definitely direct you if there's a need. And we do free consultations for patients coming in that are looking for these larger cases. So if you have fear and finances is a concern, come, let us talk to you. You know, let us share and let you know what your possibilities are, and then you can make a decision. So there's no pressure right off the bat. Okay, and that way, you know, our job, we're, you know, dentists, there's a meaning of dentist is teacher. And we want to teach our patients. We want to teach our community how to better take care of their teeth and their bodies.
Well, folks, you know, we're getting ready to wrap up this program, but again, you've heard, we've enjoyed talking with Dr. Stuberich and Dr. Noel. Thank you both for coming on. Which means, again, we're going to have some technical issues. But look, tune in to the Bread of Life Hour, YouTube, AMTV Boston, Bread of Life Hour, and that's 3/2224, and you'll get this program. We are so privileged to have, and honored to have, both the doctors here to share about our health, dental needs right now. So, Doctor, any closing remarks you have for anybody, either one of you?
Closing remarks. Well, first of all, thank you for having us here and inviting us. You know, even though we do take care of you, it's great to have you reach out to us. And you know, I was coming by myself, but you know, I thought, you know, Dr. Noel and I are a team, and it seems that wherever we go and do anything, we're usually together. And so that's what we also want to portray to the people that come to us. We are dedicated to what we do. We're passionate about it, about what we do. We try and be very honest about what needs to be done. And we want to try and stay humble too, because you know, we are people just like you. And I think that's what we try and talk to our patients on the same level. We're not any better or any worse. And we are here. Our job is to take care of our community.
You heard it, folks. Stuberich and Noel. Don't forget that now. Stuberich and Noel. Again, we thank those of you that came on and joined us today. Boy, we're having some technical problems today. All right. The doctor to the rescue. This is live television, folks, so we will make mistakes. But listen, again, we want you to remember that name, Stuberich and Noel. And again, it's, you know, very convenient. I can hop on the subway, I can hop on the train and get to their office, and they do take very good care of their patients. Every one of the staff members there, they are very kind, they are very personal, and you will have a great experience. So again, tune in to next time. We're going to bring you another special show, and may God bless you. Stay in good health.